The unexpected encounter. The gleaming hull of the Starship Odyssey cut through the violet atmosphere of Proxima Centauri, its sensors probing the alien world below. In the cockpit, Captain Zara Chen squinted at the swirling gases outside her viewscreen, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. After years of interstellar travel, humanity had finally reached its nearest stellar neighbor. Atmospheric composition stabilizing, reported Dr. Elias Okafor, the mission's exobiologist. His dark fingers danced across holographic readouts. Nitrogen levels are high, but oxygen is present. It's breathable, barely. Zara nodded, her short black hair catching the glow of instrument panels. Any signs of life? Elias frowned. Nothing conclusive. But there's something odd about the energy readings. They're fluctuating in a way I've never seen before. As the Odyssey descended through wisps of lavender clouds, a vast landscape revealed itself. Rolling hills covered in iridescent vegetation stretched to the horizon, punctuated by towering spires of crystalline rock. Rivers of what looked like liquid metal snaked between the hills, their surfaces rippling with an inner light. "My God," whispered Zara. "It's beautiful." The ship touched down on a plateau overlooking one of the metallic rivers. As the engines powered down, an eerie silence fell over the cockpit. The alien world waited outside, unknown, and untouched by human hands. Zara stood, smoothing her uniform. "Suit up, team. We're making history today." Minutes later, Zara stepped onto the surface of Proxima Centauri, the first human to set foot on an extrasolar world. The gravity was slightly stronger than Earth's, making her movements feel sluggish. The air, though thin, filled her lungs with each cautious breath. "Incredible," murmured Elias as he emerged behind her. "The plant life. It's nothing like we've ever seen." The vegetation around them pulsed with bioluminescence, tendrils of light racing through leaf-like structures. As Zara watched, mesmerized, a distant sound caught her attention. It was faint, almost lost in the whisper of alien wind, but unmistakable, a cry of distress. "Did you hear that?" she asked, turning to Elias. He nodded, his eyes wide behind his helmet visor. It came from the river. Without hesitation, Zara set off towards the sound, her boots sinking slightly into the spongy ground. As they approached the bank of the metallic river, the cry came again, louder and more desperate. Then they saw it. Thrashing in the swirling liquid metal was a creature unlike anything they had ever encountered. It was roughly the size of a large dog, with a sleek, serpentine body covered in scales that shifted color like oil on water. 6 limbs, each ending in webbed appendages, flailed wildly as it struggled against the current. "It's drowning," Zara realized, her training kicking in. Without thinking of the potential dangers, she waded into the river. The liquid was cool and thick, clinging to her suit like syrup. With powerful strokes, she swam towards the alien creature. As she neared it, she saw its eyes. 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on its wedge-shaped head. They locked onto her, filled with a terrifyingly human intelligence and fear. Zara reached the creature, wrapping her arms around its writhing body. It was heavier than she expected, and for a moment, she feared they would both be pulled under. But then she felt Elias's strong hands gripping her shoulders, pulling them both back to shore. They collapsed on the bank, Zara still cradling the alien creature. It shuddered in her arms, its scales flickering through a kaleidoscope of colors, before settling on a deep, pulsing blue. "Zara," Elias said, his voice filled with awe and concern. "Look." She followed his gaze and gasped. The creature's body was becoming transparent, revealing a complex network of glowing veins beneath its scales. And at its core, pulsing in time with the lights racing through the nearby vegetation, was what could only be described as a miniature star. The alien's 3 eyes blinked up at Zara, and suddenly, impossibly, she heard a voice in her mind. "Thank you, Skywalker. It said, the words echoing with gratitude and something else, a profound sense of destiny. You have saved more than you know. As the implications of what had just happened washed over her, Zara realized that their mission, and perhaps the future of human-alien relations, had just changed forever. The creature in her arms was no mere animal. It was intelligent, possibly even technologically advanced. And if its telepathic abilities were any indication, it held secrets that could revolutionize human understanding of the universe. But as she met the alien's tri-eyed gaze, another realization struck her. This being, with its star-like core and connection to the planet's strange energy, might be more than just an inhabitant of this world. It might be the key to understanding the very nature of Proxima Centauri itself. "What are you?" Zara whispered, both to the creature and to the alien world around them. The response came not in words, but in a flood of images and emotions. Vast networks of energy coursing through the planet like blood through veins, civilizations rising and falling over millennia. And always at the center, beings like the one in her arms, guiding and nurturing the world's life force. As the vision faded, Zara looked at Elias, seeing her own wonder and trepidation mirrored in his eyes. Their simple exploratory mission had become something far greater. They had stumbled upon a living, thinking world, one that would challenge everything humanity thought it knew about life in the universe. The creature stirred in Zara's arms, its scales shimmering with renewed strength. Gently, she set it down on the luminescent ground. It regarded them both for a long moment, its star-like core pulsing with an otherworldly light. "Come," it projected into their minds. "There is much to show you, Skywalkers." The fate of two worlds now hangs in the balance. As Zara and Elias exchanged glances, they knew that the real adventure, and the real test of humanity's place in the cosmos, was only just beginning. A world unknown. As Zara and Elias followed the alien creature, the landscape around them seemed to pulse with newfound life. The iridescent vegetation swayed in rhythm with their footsteps, and the metallic rivers glimmered with an inner light that matched the being's core. "I'm Dr. Zora Chen." Zora projected her thoughts, hoping the creature would understand. "This is Dr. Elias Okafor. We come from a planet called Earth." The alien's mind voice resonated in their heads, tinged with curiosity. "I am Zixix, keeper of the Nexus. Your world, Earth, it is young, is it not?" Elias couldn't contain his excitement. "Young? Compared to what? How old is this world?" Zixix's scales rippled with amusement. "Time flows differently here, Skywalkers. This world has seen the birth and death of 1,000 suns." As they crested a hill, a breathtaking vista unfolded before them. In a vast valley below, structures of impossible geometry rose from the ground, their surfaces a fusion of organic growth and crystalline precision. Beings similar to Zixix moved among the structures, their bodies glowing with internal starlight. "Welcome," Zixix projected, "to the Nexus of Proxima." Zara's mind reeled. "This is a city." "It is the heart of our world," Zixix explained. "From here, we tend to the energies that sustain all life on this planet." As they descended into the valley, Zara and Elias marveled at the alien architecture. What had seemed like buildings from afar revealed themselves to be intricate biological machines, pulsing with the same energy that flowed through Zixix and the planet itself. Elias's scientific curiosity was in overdrive. "How does it work? This energy you speak of?" Zixix led them to a central structure, a massive crystalline spire that seemed to stretch into the violet sky. "Observe," the alien projected. The spire's surface became transparent, revealing the swirling vortex of energy at its core. Streams of light flowed from the vortex, spreading out through the ground and air in a vast, interconnected web. "This is the Nexus," Zixix explained. "It channels the living energy of our star, distributing it throughout our world. We keepers guide this energy, nurturing life and maintaining balance." Zara watched in awe as the energy flowed, realizing that the entire planet was, In essence, a single vast organism. "It's beautiful," she breathed. Suddenly, a discordant note struck the harmony around them. The energy flow in the spire fluctuated, and 66's scales flashed with alarm. "Something is wrong," the alien projected, its mental voice tinged with concern. Other keepers rushed to the spire, their bodies glowing intensely as they worked to stabilize the energy flow. Zara and Elias watched, helpless, as the alien beings fought against some unseen force. "What's happening?" Zara asked, her heart racing. 66 turned to them, its three eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination. "The balance is shifting. Something is draining our world's energy faster than we can replenish it." Elias frowned. Could it be natural? Some kind of cyclical event? The alien scales darkened. "No, this is unnatural. We have felt it growing for some time, but never this strong." As if in response to 66's words, the ground beneath them trembled. In the distance, one of the metallic rivers began to churn and boil. "We must investigate," 66 projected urgently. "Will you aid us, Skywalkers? Your outside perspective may see what we cannot." Zara nodded without hesitation. "Of course. What do you need us to do?" 66's body pulsed with gratitude. "We must journey to the far reaches, where the energy drain is strongest. It is a dangerous path, one we keepers rarely tread." As they prepared for the journey, gathering supplies and information from the other keepers, Zora couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They had come to this world as explorers, hoping to learn about alien life. Now they found themselves thrust into a crisis that threatened an entire living planet. Elias voiced the thought that had been nagging at Zora's mind. "Do you think, could this energy drain have something to do with our arrival?" Zara met his gaze, seeing her own concern reflected there. "I don't know. But if it does, we have a responsibility to help fix it." As they set out from the Nexus, following 66 into the unknown reaches of this alien world, Zara felt the weight of two worlds on her shoulders. Whatever they discovered in the far reaches would not only determine the fate of Proxima Centauri, but could also forever change humanity's place in the cosmos. The path ahead was shrouded in mystery, the alien landscape growing stranger and more foreboding with each step. But Zara, Elias, and their new alien ally pressed on, driven by a shared determination to uncover the truth and restore balance to this living world. Little did they know that the greatest challenges and the most startling revelations still lay ahead, waiting to test the limits of both human ingenuity and alien wisdom. The hidden truth. As Zora, Elias, and 66 ventured deeper into the far reaches, the familiar luminescence of the Nexus faded behind them. The landscape grew increasingly alien and foreboding. Towering structures of crystalline rock jutted from the ground at impossible angles, their surfaces dark and lifeless compared to the vibrant ecosystem they had left behind. "The energy drain grows stronger," 66 projected, its mental voice tinged with strain. "Can you feel it?" Zara nodded, realizing she could indeed sense a pull, like an invisible current tugging at her very being. Elias shivered beside her, his scientific curiosity warring with a primal unease. As they crested a ridge, a vast chasm opened before them, its depths swirling with ominous dark energy. At its center, a massive construct pulsed with an otherworldly glow, its architecture a twisted mirror of the Nexus they had left behind. "By all the stars," 66 whispered in their minds, its scales flickering with shock. "It cannot be." Zara squinted at the structure. "What is it? Have you seen this before?" The alien's mental voice was heavy with disbelief and a growing horror. It should be impossible. This is the work of the Devourers." "Devourers?" Elias asked, his scientific mind racing to categorize this new threat. 66's body dimmed, as if the very mention of the name drained its energy. "They are the antithesis of all we keepers stand for. Where we nurture and balance, they consume and destroy. We thought them long extinct, a cautionary tale from the dawn of our civilization. The ground beneath them shuddered, and a pulse of dark energy rippled out from the chasm. Zara steadied herself against a crystal formation, her mind reeling from the implications. Are you saying this is some kind of ancient alien weapon? Not a weapon, Zixix corrected, its mental voice grim. A harvester. It drains the very life force of planets, leaving nothing but husks in its wake. Elias's eyes widened. But why now? Why has it activated after all this time? As if in answer, a beam of energy shot from the construct, arcing over their heads. Zara tracked its path and felt her blood run cold. It was aimed directly at where they had left the Odyssey. Oh no, she breathed. It's us. Our arrival must have triggered it somehow. Zixix's scales rippled with a complex mix of emotions, fear, sorrow, and a grudging understanding. Yes, the Devourer's technology was designed to activate in the presence of new spacefaring civilizations, to harvest their potential along with the planet's energy. The implications hit Zara like a physical blow. Their mission of peaceful exploration had unknowingly brought destruction to this ancient living world. The weight of that responsibility threatened to crush her. But there was no time for self-recrimination. Another tremor shook the ground, stronger this time. Cracks began to appear in the crystalline formations around them, dark energy seeping through like veins of poison. We need to shut it down, Zara said, her voice filled with determination. There has to be a way. Elias nodded, already pulling out his scientific equipment. If we can understand its operating principles, maybe we can reverse the process. Zixix's mental voice carried a note of hope for the first time since they'd discovered the construct. Yes, your outside perspective may be the key. The Devourer's technology was always a mystery to us, but perhaps your human ingenuity can succeed where our ancient wisdom failed. As they cautiously approached the edge of the chasm, studying the dark construct with a mix of scientific curiosity and trepidation, Zara felt a surge of determination. They had come to this world as explorers, but now they would need to become its saviors. Elias's instruments beeped and whirred, collecting data on the energy signatures emanating from the Devourer construct. It's like nothing I've ever seen, he muttered. The principles behind it, they defy our understanding of physics. Zixix projected images into their minds, schematics and theories developed by the Keepers over millennia of studying the Devourer's legacy. Perhaps together, we can bridge the gap between your science and our intuitive understanding of cosmic energies. As they worked, piecing together the puzzle of the ancient technology, the construct's pulses grew stronger and more frequent. The very fabric of the planet seemed to groan under the strain. Suddenly, Zora's eyes widened. Wait, look at this energy pattern. It's almost like a mirror image of the Nexus. Elias leaned in, excitement building in his voice. You're right. It's as if it's designed to be a perfect counterbalance to the planet's natural energy flow. Zixix's scales flickered with sudden understanding. Of course, the Devourers didn't just consume, they corrupted, turned a planet's life force against itself. A plan began to form in Zora's mind. It was dangerous, perhaps even impossible, but it was their only hope. What if, she said slowly, we don't try to shut it down? What if we try to overload it instead? Elias caught on immediately. Use the planet's own energy against the construct. Brilliant. But Zixix's mental voice was filled with concern. The risk would be enormous. It could tear the planet apart. Zara met the alien's tri-eyed gaze. Do we have a choice? If we do nothing, your world dies anyway. A moment of silent communication passed between them. Then, with a ripple of its scales that Zara somehow knew meant resolve, Zixix nodded. Very well, Skywalker. Let us attempt your bold plan. As they began to make preparations, interfacing human technology with alien biology in ways never before imagined, Zara felt the weight of two civilizations on her shoulders. The fate of this ancient, living world, and perhaps the future of humanity's place in the cosmos would be decided by what they did next. The dark construct loomed before them, a challenge to everything they believed about life, energy, and the very nature of the universe. But as Zara looked at her human colleague and their alien ally, she felt a surge of hope. Together, they would fight for the survival of this world, no matter the cost. Little did they know that the true test of their determination, and the most staggering revelation of all, still lay ahead: conflict and choice. The air crackled with tension as Zara, Elias, and Zixix stood at the precipice of their daring plan. The Devourer construct pulsed ominously before them, its dark energy tendrils reaching further across the planet with each passing moment. "Are we really going to do this?" Elias asked, his voice a mix of excitement and trepidation. Zara nodded, her jaw set with determination. "We have to try." "Zixix, are you ready?" The alien scales shimmered with a complex array of colors, reflecting its inner turmoil. "I am prepared, Skywalkers, but you must understand the gravity of what we attempt. If we fail, the consequences will be catastrophic." As they made their final preparations, interfacing Elias's modified scientific equipment with Zixix's bioelectric field, the ground beneath them shuddered violently. In the distance, a metallic river erupted into a geyser of liquid energy, its light dimming as it was sucked into the maw of the Devourer construct. "It's now or never," Zara said, her finger hovering over the activation switch. Suddenly, a piercing shriek filled their minds. Zixix writhed in apparent agony, its scales flashing warning colors. "Stop!" The mental voice was different, older, more powerful, and filled with authority. From the shadows of the crystalline formations, a larger, more ornate keeper emerged. Its body pulsed with an intensity that dwarfed Zixix's glow. "Elder Zixlor," Zixix projected, its mental voice tinged with awe and confusion. The Elder's three eyes fixed upon the humans with an unsettling intensity. "You do not understand what you meddle with, Skywalkers. The balance must be maintained." Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "With all due respect, Elder, this construct is destroying your world. We're trying to save it." The Elder's scales rippled with what might have been amusement or pity. "Save it? You activated it. Your very presence here has upset a balance maintained for eons." Elias frowned, his scientific mind racing. "Are you saying you knew about this? That you've been living alongside this threat all this time?" The Elder's mental voice grew cold. "It is no threat. It is necessity. The Devourers, as you call them, were not our enemies. They were our creation." The revelation hit Zora like a physical blow. She looked at Zixix, seeing her own shock mirrored in the younger keeper's dimming glow. "But why?" Zixix asked, its mental voice small and confused. The Elder moved closer, its massive form casting shadows in the pulsing light of the construct. "To maintain balance. Our world, our very existence, is built upon a cycle of creation and destruction. The energy must flow, must be renewed. Without the culling, we would expand unchecked, consume ourselves." Zara's mind reeled at the implications. This ancient, seemingly wise civilization had built a doomsday device into the very fabric of their world. "So every time a new species reaches you, they become the catalyst," the Elder confirmed. "Their potential energy jumpstarts the cycle anew. It is regrettable, but necessary." Elias shook his head, anger coloring his voice. "Necessary? You're talking about genocide. There must be another way." The Elder's mental voice grew harsh. "There is no other way. Countless cycles have proven this. The construct must complete its task." As if to emphasize the point, another violent tremor shook the ground. The dark energy tendrils from the construct began to coalesce, forming a swirling vortex that reached towards the sky, towards where the Odyssey waited in orbit. Zara felt a surge of protective fury, not just for her ship and crew, but for the countless civilizations that might one day follow in humanity's footsteps. "No," she said, her voice ringing with conviction. "I don't accept that. We came here in peace, in the spirit of discovery. We won't be the cause of destruction." She turned to Zix, seeing the conflict in its dimming glow. "You showed us the beauty of your world, the wonder of the Nexus. Is this really what you want? To be part of an endless cycle of death?" Zix's scales flickered uncertainly. I never knew. Elder, is there truly no other way?" The Elder's mental voice softened, tinged with a sadness accumulated over eons. "It is the way it has always been, young one. The way it must be." But Zara saw the doubt in Zix's eyes, felt the hesitation in its mental presence. She pressed on, her voice filled with passion. "It doesn't have to be. Look at us, humans and keepers working together. We've already bridged gaps of understanding that seemed impossible. Who knows what we could achieve if we truly collaborated?" Elias nodded enthusiastically. "Our technology, your cosmic understanding. Together, we might find a way to channel the energy without destruction." The Elder's form pulsed with conflicting emotions. "You speak of dreams, Skywalkers. The risk is worth taking," Zora finished. She held out her hand to Zix. "What do you say? Are you with us?" For a long moment, the alien world held its breath. The construct's dark energy swirled ominously, the vortex growing stronger. The Elder watched, its ancient eyes unreadable. Then, with a burst of renewed light, Zix placed its appendage in Zora's hand. "I am with you, Skywalker. Let us forge a new path." The Elder's mental voice rang out in alarm. "You cannot. The consequences." But Zora had already activated the device. Human technology and alien biology interfaced in a burst of light and energy. The construct shuddered, caught between the twin forces of destruction and creation. As the energies collided, Zora realized that the true test was only beginning. They had made their choice, defied an ancient cycle. Now that they would have to face the consequences and find a way to save not just this world, but perhaps the future of interstellar exploration itself. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, with Zora, Elias, and Zix standing at the fulcrum of change. Whatever came next would reshape the destiny of both humanity and the Keepers forever. Humanity's stand. The world exploded into chaos as Zora's makeshift device activated. Streams of energy, both light and dark, collided in a spectacular display of cosmic forces. The Devourer construct shuddered, its ominous pulsing faltering for the first time. Zora gripped Zix's appendage tightly, her other hand on Elias's shoulder. "Hold on," she shouted over the deafening roar of clashing energies. The Elder's mental voice boomed in their minds, a mixture of anger and fear. "What have you done? You'll destroy us all." But as the initial shock subsided, something unexpected began to happen. The warring energies, instead of tearing the planet apart, started to intertwine. Streams of light and darkness danced around each other, forming intricate patterns in the air. Elias's eyes widened in wonder. "Look, they're harmonizing." Zix's scales flickered rapidly, its three eyes darting between the swirling energies and the humans. "Impossible," it projected. And yet, the Devourer construct groaned, its structure beginning to shift and change. Dark tendrils retracted, replaced by streams of pure, radiant energy. The very ground beneath their feet trembled, not with destruction, but with renewal. Zara watched in awe as the landscape around them transformed. Crystalline formations that had been dull and lifeless burst into vibrant color. The metallic rivers glowed with newfound intensity, their flow reversing to feed energy back into the planet. "It's working," Elias exclaimed, his scientific equipment beeping frantically as it tried to process the unprecedented readings. "We're not destroying the energy, we're redistributing it." The Elder Keeper, Zixlor, moved closer, its massive form radiating a mix of disbelief and cautious hope. "In all our eons," it projected, "we never imagined, never dared to try." Zara turned to the elder, her voice firm but compassionate. Sometimes it takes an outside perspective to see new possibilities. Your cycle of creation and destruction wasn't the only way. There's always another path, if you're willing to look for it. As the energies continued to stabilize, spreading out across the planet in a web of harmonious light, 666's glow intensified. "We can feel it," the young keeper projected. "The planet, it's singing, rejuvenating itself in a way we've never experienced." Elias nodded excitedly. "It's like the energy is finding a new equilibrium. Instead of building up and releasing catastrophically, it's flowing continuously, sustainably." The elder's mental voice, when it came, was tinged with a humility that belied its ancient wisdom. "We have been blind," it projected, "so focused on maintaining what we knew, we could not see the potential for growth, for true balance." As the immediate crisis subsided, the full implications of what they had achieved began to sink in. They had not just saved this world from destruction, they had fundamentally altered its cosmic destiny. Zora looked out over the transformed landscape, her heart swelling with a mix of pride and humility. "So, what happens now?" she asked. Zix moved to stand beside her, its scales shimmering with newfound purpose. "Now, Skywalker, we rebuild. We learn. And perhaps we explore." The elder's massive form seemed to straighten, casting off the weight of eons. "Yes," it projected. "It is time for the keepers to emerge from our isolation, to seek out new civilizations not as harbingers of destruction, but as partners in cosmic harmony." Elias grinned, his scientific excitement bubbling over. "The potential for exchange of knowledge is staggering. Your understanding of cosmic energies, combined with our technological innovations, could reshape the very face of the galaxy," Zora finished, her mind racing with possibilities. As they stood there, humans and keepers united in a moment of triumphant cooperation, a new sound filled the air. The Odyssey, responding to the stabilized energy patterns, descended through the violet atmosphere. Its sleek form, a testament to human ingenuity, settled gently on the transformed landscape of Proxima Centauri. Captain Chen's voice crackled over Zora's comm unit. "Dr. Chen, Dr. Okafor, what in the world is going on down there? Our readings are off the charts." Zara laughed, a sound of pure joy and relief. "Captain, you're not going to believe this, but we just changed the course of 2 civilizations." As the Odyssey's crew disembarked, staring in wonder at the alien world and its inhabitants, Zara felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had come to this planet as explorers and found themselves becoming saviors, diplomats, and pioneers of a new era of interstellar cooperation. The keepers gathered around, their bodies glowing with renewed energy and purpose. The elder's mental voice rang out, addressing both its own kind and the human newcomers. "Let this day mark the beginning of a new chapter in the cosmic story. No longer shall we fear the unknown, but embrace it. Together, we shall forge a path to the stars, guided by wisdom, science, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship." As human and keeper alike cheered, their voices and mental projections blending in a symphony of hope, Zara knew that this was just the beginning. The challenges ahead would be great, the mysteries of the universe vast and complex. But standing here, on this alien world that now felt like a second home, she was filled with an unshakable certainty. Humanity had taken its first true steps into the galactic community, and together with their new allies, they would face whatever the cosmos had in store, not with fear, but with courage, curiosity, and an unwavering belief in the power of cooperation. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, beckoning them towards a future filled with endless possibilities. Zara smiled, ready to embrace that future with open arms. The greatest adventure of all was just beginning.